The two-day-long opposition meeting under the alliance name India Bloc, as many call it, has come to an end in Mumbai. It started on 31st of August and today being 1st of September, the meeting has ended and there was a press conference. In the press conference and before that also there were statements issued as what is the resolve they have taken, what is the resolution that has been adopted. And if I can just read out the first two lines, it read, "We the India parties hereby resolve to contest the forthcoming Lok Sabha election together as far as possible. Seat sharing arrangements in different states will be initiated immediately and concluded at the earliest in a collaborative spirit of give and take." Now, there are two takeaways from this very statement, which is very, very significant. Number one, when it says that they would be contesting it together as far as possible, which means there could be areas where collaborative effort might not, yield any kind of a fruit. Well, the press conference happened, we tried asking questions, no questions were taken, and all the leaders, unequivocally suggested that it's a united house, that they're together, that they would be fighting the battle together as one force against BJP. We would be getting into as what leaders said one by one, but then interestingly, as the day started, leaders came in and the meeting happened. What you have learned from sources that yes, there were some issues which were also raised. Number one, should it be logo given more priority over hitting the ground? That suggestion came from Mamata Banerjee and of course other leaders, that look, election is approaching, we are losing out on days, it is time to hit the ground and it is time to possibly start with the campaign rather than wasting time after a logo. And it seems like such apprehensions had found credence because the logo which was initially scheduled to be unveiled today did not happen. There were certain discrepancies with the logo, with the tagline, but finally we have understood the tagline has now been finalized to be Jurega Bharat, Jeetega India, something that you get to see all across, all behind us, around us, and there were little doubts in the, at the very beginning as whether it would be the final tagline or not, because the logo which was in a way prepared, it had couple of words which had earned objection of couple of leaders. Dil Mange India, quote unquote, if sources are to be believed, was part of the logo and that had received objection. Nonetheless, the logo has not been unveiled. What are the other issues which have been highlighted? The other issues most definitely had been seat sharing arrangement, for which initially the talks had been September 30th. By then, all the leaders would be meeting at the respective state zone and they would be finalizing a method, a policy with which they would be sharing these seats. What you are learning from sources, very credible information, that no, not 30th of September, it has now been extended till 31st of October because there are several celebratory occasions in between. You have Durga Puja, you have Dashera, you have other religious festivals. The reason why the time has now been extended till 31st of October, by when all the parties would come to a conclusion as which party will have to interact with which party for which particular zone. For example, in Maharashtra, you have couple of parties who are there existing. For example, Shiv Sena or Uddhav Thackeray, you have NCP, you have Congress. But at the same time, in West Bengal, you do not have a stronger presence of NCP and Shiv Sena, where the dominant parties are Trinamool Congress, Congress and the left. So, for example, in Maharashtra, Trinamool Congress will not have to interfere when it comes to arrangement of seats being shared. Similarly, in West Bengal, Shiv Sena and NCP will be excused because the stakeholders are Trinamool Congress, Congress and the left. Likewise, the same logic would be implied and applied on other states where the dominant parties will be allowed to engage in a discussion without the interference and intervention of other stakeholders for their validation for the seat sharing arrangement. What else has been decided upon? We have a coordination committee now. There is a coordination committee of the India Alliance and that coordination committee has 13 members which comprise of leaders from various political parties, from M.K. Stalin to Sharad Pawar to Abhishek Banerjee and others. And that coordination committee, which also has a balance of senior and younger members of the alliance, they would be steering the entire show at different levels. You have social media campaign, you have media campaign, you have public outreach programs. The leaders have decided that they would be holding public rallies at different states to innovate, showcase a coordinated campaign on issues which are connected to people, on issues which are affecting the people. That apart, as I said, they have all decided upon this very tagline, which is Jurega Bharat, Jeetega India. Now, if sources are to be believed, yes, there were some issues where differences were there. We would be talking about all of that later on. But at this juncture, the conclusion which has been arrived at, as being suggested in an united show at the press conference where no questions were taken, that the House is united and they would be fighting it as a one united force against the BJP.
The real work in this alliance is the relationships that are forged between the leaders of this alliance. And I can say with confidence that these two meetings have done a huge amount in building the rapport between all the leaders and ensuring that all of us work together as one. I can see that there is flexibility among all the leaders in the way we are approaching things. There are differences, of course, but I am extremely impressed by the way those differences are minimized and ironed out.
Uddhav Thackeray, you have Uddhav Thackeray who, at the very beginning tried pumping in a lot of sentiment when he suggested that Prime Minister Narendra Modi during the entire election campaign spoke about Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. But according to Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, he is saying that it was not Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, it was Sabka Kick. I can't use that word. And it was Mitro Ka Vikas. And that's the reason the Mitro culture, quote unquote, will now have to be abolished.
एक बात मैं जरूर बताना चाहता हूं कि हम मित्र परिवारवाद के खिलाफ भी जरूर लड़ेंगे, और वो इसलिए कि मैंने बंगलोर में कहा था कि भारत मेरा परिवार है, हम सब भारतीय हैं तो सारा भारत मेरा परिवार है। परिवारवाद की अगर बात करें तो भारत परिवार छोड़कर इलेक्शन चुनाव के दरमियान एक नारा होता है, मैंने भी सुना था उस वक्त, सबका साथ सबका विकास। चुनाव जीतने के बाद जिन लोगों ने साथ दिया सबको लाथ और अपने मित्रों का विकास, ये मित्र परिवारवाद अब हम चलने नहीं देंगे।
But the showstopper, the entire house or the presser would agree, was Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav. First, when the mic was given to him, he said no, he is fit enough to go up to the dais and talk. That's exactly what he did. And thereafter, he also spoke a lot of things that left the entire house in spirits. Sir.
मोदी जी बोले कि हम आएंगे और स्विस बैंक का पैसा ला करके हम देश के तमाम लोगों को हर के को खाता खुलवाया कि 5-5 लाख रुपया जमा करेंगे, 15-15 लाख रुपया। हम भी झांसा में आ गए और हमने भी अपना खाता खुलवाया। मेरे 7 बेटियां 2 बेटा और पति पत्नी दोनों मिला के 11 हो जाते हैं। देखा कि भाई 15 से गुना कर दीजिए, पैसा काफ़ी मिल जाएगा। सारे देश भर के लोग खाता खुलवा दिया, सब गरीब गुरबा आदमी प्रचारित करवाया इन लोगों ने। और मिला क्या, सब देश के लोगों को मालूम होगा, आप लोगों को भी मालूम होगा, आप लोग में वैसे भी खुलवाए होंगे, आप लोग पढ़ा प्रेस के लोग भी कि हो सकता है भाई मिल जाए, पैसा है देश का तो मिल जाए, वापस आ जाए। एक पैसा नहीं, सब इन्हीं लोगों का पैसा था।
Nitish Kumar at the end, he suggested that media has been enslaved for too long by the Modi government, that they have been only singing canaries for Modi government, and that Prime Minister Modi has the comfort of believing that media would never criticize him, and that's the reason he is confident. And he says that India, quote unquote, would be liberated very soon, and that freedom would then also be passing on to media.
और अभी आपको बताया गया कि कैसे मीडिया पर ही कब्जा कर लिया, कोई भी दूसरे की बात कम छपता और ज्यादातर उन्हीं की बात छपते रहती। कितना काम पहले हुआ है, अलग अलग राज्यों ने कितना काम किया है, दूसरे पार्टियों ने, उसका कम छपता ये कम करते हैं और ज़्यादा छपता रहता है। तभी तो आप लोगों पर कब्जा न है जी, तब तो उपाय है। और जब एक बार उनसे मुक्ति मिलेगी तो आप सब प्रेस वाले आज़ाद होइएगा और जो आपको उचित लगेगा वही लिखिएगा और वही बोलिएगा।
Overall, the two-day event in Mumbai has come to an end. Several photo opportunities, Mamata Banerjee giving out a stole to Sonia Gandhi in a crowd of all these leaders, and that also in a way suggested that these two leaders still share a very good relationship, because in West Bengal, Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, the Congress president and also the leader in Lok Sabha, has time and again suggested that Trinamool Congress and Congress can't be together in West Bengal. So when Mamata Banerjee gives a stole to Sonia Gandhi and she happily accepts it to stand next to each other for the photo opportunity, Rahul Gandhi interacts with Mamata Banerjee. What is the message it actually communicates to the Congress workers in West Bengal? Again, it's something we have to wait and watch. Similarly, when it happens in Kerala, the Congress and the left are at loggerheads. But here, when Sitaram Yechuri connects with Rahul Gandhi, what message it actually is being sent to Kerala, and whether it would be convincing enough for people to buy and then translate into votes, we have to wait and see. But all in all, while on one hand BJP says that this alliance should not be named India, rather Ghamandia, and they have got no merit, they are saying that Ghamand of BJP would be now cracked upon with an united show. When would the election happen? No one knows. But the temperature, the political temperature has begun to soar in India, and lot of curiosity, speculations nonetheless, because a special parliament session has been called between September 18th and 22nd. Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress president, has questioned what prompted Modi government to call for a special session now when they did not after Manipur violence or when there was a COVID crisis. In Mumbai, this is Tamal Saha for News the Truth, NTT.
आज मोदी सडनली और एक बात की कि बिजनेस एडवाइजरी कमेटी को नहीं पूछे, अपोजिशन लीडर को भी नहीं बुलाए, किसी को बुलाए बगैर वो पार्लियामेंट का डेट देकर स्पेशल सेशन बुला रहे हैं। अरे स्पेशल सेशन मणिपुर जल रहा था तो आपने नहीं बुलाया, कोविड के वक्त नहीं बुलाया, जब आप चाइना अपनी जमीन हड़प कर ले रही है, कब्जा कर लिए, उसके लिए नहीं बुलाया। लोग तंग और तबाह इसमें ये हमारा नोटबंदी के वक्त परेशान थे, माइग्रेंट वर्कर परेशान, उस वक्त नहीं बुलाया। जब जब मुल्क अपने मुश्किल में रहता उस वक्त उन्होंने कभी नहीं बुलाया। अब क्यों बुलाया मुझे मालूम नहीं, आज का एजेंडा क्या है उनका मालूम नहीं। तो ये देश चलाने की रीत नहीं है, ये आहिस्ता आहिस्ता डिक्टेटरशिप की तरफ जा रहे हैं।